sitting here like some dumb little wife and just enjoying some money. No, I actually asked my husband, what is going on? Why when we go to the airport do we have to stand in secondary line? Why do we continuously have to go through these issues? But just so happened, all of this information that I had asked him about and he lied about came out. About him not having a real green card and him trying to get citizenship and fraud information from back in the day and scamming. My back was so against the wall. The only way for you to really protect yourself at the end of the day, if you have a prenup, is to enforce it. And you only enforce it by doing this court.
According to Porsha's claims, Simon Guobadia and Porsha Williams' hurried transactional marriage terminated almost as soon as it began. It's not often that someone reaches out to a co-worker's husband during a divorce, offering him support rather than supporting the co-worker herself. The brief transactional marriage and the divorce drama between Porsha Williams and Simon Guobadia have everyone talking. And trust me, the drama has just begun. Simon first bombed her with love before later, withdrawing that love, raising eyebrows and questions about the nature of their relationship. In what appears to be a windfall for a 15-month transactional marriage for her, Williams appears to have recently won a significant victory in court against Simon Guobadia. While Simon was deported back to Nigeria, his former wife, Real Housewives of Atlanta star Porsha Williams, was granted ownership of their Rolls-Royce Porsche and $40,000 a month in alimony. She also received 50% equity in their $7 million marital home. For those who are unaware, Porsha and Simon's romance may have been brief, but it was full of drama from the beginning. In a May 2021 Instagram post, Porsha disclosed that she and Simon had started dating a month before going public. She also clarified their timeline and disputed that she and Simon were together throughout the period that he was married to her. Real Housewives of Atlanta co-star Fallon Guobadia. While the rumors of Fallon's overlapping relationship with her co-worker's husband were becoming more widespread, Fallon announced her divorce from Simon in April 2021 after 2 years of marriage. She attempted to present an alternative version of events between her and Simon while he was still Fallon's spouse, saying, "For all of you that need facts, we are not friends. And although Simon's divorce has been finalized, our relationship is a loving move ahead in everyone's life. I understand the optics, but Simon filed for divorce from a prior marriage in January, and I had nothing to do with their divorce filing." After her appearance on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, Porsha acknowledged that she had indeed sent Simon a message after his divorce from Fallon to provide consolation during his difficult times.
How exactly did you and Simon meet? You claimed he slid into your DMs. Was that before you met him at Fallon's hot tub and hookah party last season?
Oh no, absolutely not. That was after he had posted about the divorce. And I do have to say, yes, on the show I was playing coy. As you can see, I do the eye stuff. I actually told him, like, I'm sorry for your divorce and all of that, because I know what that feels like.
Just when the dust of Simon's relationship with Porsha had yet to settle to the surprise of many fans, they announced their engagement that same month. Despite the almost instant engagement, rumors have it that Porsha allegedly delayed marrying Simon until she got the details of his financial worth. After she allegedly got the details of Simon's worth, rumors of their wedding began to swirl around. Simon had to respond to the growing noise about the marital journey that was turning into a sprint. Simon wrote on Instagram, "Getting married again was never a question in my mind, but one did not expect to be blessed with a mate so soon. The interesting thing about life is that it is an individual journey. Porsha and I, with the support of our loved ones, have chosen to travel together as one and spread love and positivity to our community, which is in desperate need of positive and healthy images of the best versions of ourselves." They eventually tied the knot in November 2022. With a series of extravagant celebrations, they had a traditional Nigerian wedding ceremony before a grand wedding ceremony at the Four Seasons Hotel in Atlanta, Georgia. Their lavish wedding was followed by a dream getaway in Malta 3 months later. Even though they seemed content, Porsha and Simon's marriage was not without its difficulties. They were always under public and media scrutiny, with many people doubting their sincerity and the reasons behind their union. Their short marital journey was a sprint filled with intense moments and surprises. In February 2024, Porsha announced her return to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, excitedly introducing herself as Porsha Guobadia. However, her joy was short-lived, as just weeks later she filed for divorce from Simon. The timing couldn't have been worse, as Simon was simultaneously accused and detained for immigration offenses and fraud related to his attempts to secure American citizenship dating back to the 1980s. After their breakup, the former lovebirds started getting salty and trying to outsmart each other. Simon requested detailed information about Porsha's earnings from Real Housewives of Atlanta and asked for copies of her filming contracts, agreements, and communications with producers. As if all that was not enough, he also expressed his desire to prohibit Real Housewives of Atlanta from filming in their home. Porsha clapped back, saying Simon is not only overstepping his boundaries with his strange demands, she accused him of trying to control her. Just a month after Porsha filed for divorce, events began to move at a very fast pace, akin to acting out a script. Simon filed a motion alleging that Porsha abandoned their shared home, only to return with a man armed with a gun to harass him before police were called to the scene to maintain the peace. In a counter motion, Porsha refuted Simon's charges, claiming they were untrue assertions and accusations that purposefully misrepresented the circumstances. Additionally, Porsha asserted that there was no need for prenuptial talks because there was a clear prenuptial agreement requiring the husband to leave the marital residence by March 22, 2024. The wife also demonstrates that she no longer felt comfortable living in the marital residence with her minor child after learning that her husband was having multiple women there. Simon claimed that Porsha's behavior has been unpredictable, unstable, and threatening, and harassing the housekeepers and their child when they filed for divorce, which is why he requested a restraining order against her. However, Porsha asserted that she only entered their marital residence with her own personal security due to Simon's unpredictable actions and his hosting of numerous strangers in the house. She also claimed that Simon had repeatedly denied her access to the house and had since left the country for Dubai. She also claimed that Simon was allegedly not following the terms of their prenuptial agreement and asked the court to reject his motion and give her exclusive possession of their home in accordance with their prenuptial agreement. Since he was the one contesting the agreement, Simon would be liable for the lawyer's fees. As soon as the divorce process started, both parties filed motions and countermovements to outwit one another and revoke the prenuptial agreement. However, things got out of control, and Simon was placed in ICE custody for immigration offenses involving false citizenship applications. Despite Simon's struggles in ICE prison, there are allegations that ICE was tipped off, although it's unclear who exactly snitched on Simon. While Simon claimed his ICE custody was preventing him from preparing for the hearing and consulting with legal counsel, Porsha proceeded with the divorce process and the several applications filed against him. After spending months in ICE custody for his immigration challenges, Simon ultimately chose to self-deport to Nigeria. Porsha claimed that there was no legal reason for Simon to attend the hearing in person because it did not involve factual disputes but rather contract interpretation of their prenuptial agreement. She also claimed that Simon's detention was self-inflicted. It was clear that Porsha wanted the case to be closed as soon as possible, which is what their brief romance represented. Following Simon's deportation to Nigeria, the divorce processes proceeded until they were recently completed, representing a major win for Porsha Williams. In the legal battle, the court ordered Simon to pay her a hefty $40,000 a month in alimony for the next 14 to 15 months, while she also secured ownership of their luxurious Rolls-Royce. In addition to these perks, Simon was required to cover all of Porsha's legal fees and award her 50% equity in their $7 million Marital home. This arrangement granted Porsha the flexibility to decide between 2024 and 2027 whether she wanted to continue living in the home or sell it. However, since the residence was Simon's premarital asset, Porsha would need to refinance and buy him out if she chose to stay. Fortunately for her, Simon would be responsible for the property's expenses, including the mortgage payments during this transitional period with no children involved. This seems to signal the end of their brief but eventful marriage, leaving one party smiling to the bank and the other fuming. Fans have been vocal about the unfolding drama, with reactions ranging from humorous to skeptical. Some fans quipped, "Lo, she can chase him with it, but the best she can hope for is to lean his share of the home, assuming it's not foreclosed on if he ever pays the bills again." Nice for Porsha for a 15-month marriage, said several others. Sell the roles, Porsha. You won't be seeing that $40K a month, some shrewd people said. Additionally, no one needs a Porsha or RR. Simon Guobadia Williams' marital journey can best be described as an eventful sprint, seemingly following a perfectly planned and acted script. To this day, Porsha has not disclosed what led to their divorce, leaving a whirlwind of unanswered questions in its wake. Why did Porsha slide into Simon's DMs to offer support and encouragement instead of reaching out to Phelan? Who was the mysterious whistleblower who reported Simon to ICE before his deportation? Even during Simon's time in ICE custody, Porsha was pushing for a swift resolution to their court proceedings, insisting that his physical presence wasn't necessary for judgment to be delivered. Now that Simon is no longer in the country, questions loom about how Porsha will receive her alimony payments. With Simon still responsible for paying the mortgage, can Porsha afford the property if he decides to stop making those payments, potentially leading to foreclosure? Porsha will need to quickly and strategically find answers to these pressing issues if she hopes to truly enjoy her court victory in the long run. Do you think Porsha has what it takes to navigate the challenges? Thank you for viewing, and please share your opinions in the comment box below.